Of the shadow and the cold, a story of the weariness that's ancient and is old. My shadow is a ghost that is dragging on the ground in a city where the silence is the only allowed sound. But then I see a flicker in the distance in the dark, a tiny and a golden and a solitary spark, a square of amber glowing through the heavy urban mist, a beauty that the darkness has reluctantly kissed. It's a beacon for the broken and a lighthouse for the lost, a sanctuary offered at a very modest cost. I walk towards the aura and I feel the spirit lift, the sudden and the beautiful and the unexpected gift. The heavy wooden door is a barrier of grace, protecting the interior and the solitary space. I push it open slowly and I hear the little bell, casting a magnificent and a therapeutic spell. The warmth hits the face like a memory of home, no matter where I wander and no matter where I roam. The smell of toasted sesame and the smell of dashi broth, a texture that is softer than the finest silk or cloth. The steam is rising slowly in a spiral of the white, erasing every particle of the heavy city night. I take a stool in silence and I let the burden fall inside the safety of the wooden and the yellow wall. Golden glow, soft and slow, warmth inside, nowhere to hide. Yellow light on the corner, a sanctuary found, where the rhythm of the soul is the only living sound. A harbor for the weary in the middle of the night, bathed in the reflection of the artificial light. The counter is a landscape made of cedar and of time, putting every feeling into rhythm and to rhyme. The scratches in the wood are the maps of other lives, of husbands and of workers and of solitary wives. We sit in a row like the birds upon a wire, basking in the energy and the culinary fire. No names are ever spoken and no questions ever asked, behind the tired faces where the spirits have been masked. The chef is a philosopher with a ladle and a knife, a witness to the struggle and the drama of the life. He nods at me in silence and he pours a cup of tea, a liquid kind of magic and a dark geography. The steam is dancing in the light of the single hanging bulb. Everything is peaceful and everything is pulled into a soup of hope and into a soup of the peace, giving the exhausted soul a rhythm to ease. The clock upon the wall is a slow and steady beat, ignoring all the pressure of the busy city street. Here the time is different, it is heavy and it's sweet, making the transition and the salvation complete. I feel the circulation returning to the hand, a stranger and a strange in a very friendly land. The yellow light is burning like a fire in the grate, a small defiance offered to the heavy hands of fate. Golden glow, soft and slow, warmth inside, nowhere to hide. The yellow light on the corner, a sanctuary found, where the rhythm of the soul is the only living sound. A harbor for the weary in the middle of the night, bathed in the reflection of the artificial light. Breathe it in, let it begin. the expectation and the heavy decree. And the yellow light is just the physicalization of the deep and the silent and the soul graduation. It softens every jagged edge and cleanses every sin, opening the window for the peace to enter in. The city outside is a ghost and it's a dream, while here the reality is exactly what it seems. So let the rain keep falling and let the darkness grow. I found the only sanctuary that I need to know. The yellow light will burn until the morning sun appears, chasing out the echoes of the many lonely years. I'll carry this warmth with me when I step back to the cold, a story of a beauty that is multifaceted and old. Yellow light on the corner is the anthem of the soul, making the fragmented and the broken spirit whole. Golden glow, soft and slow, warmth inside, nowhere to hide. The yellow light on the corner, a sanctuary found, where the rhythm of the soul is the only living sound. A harbor for the weary in the middle of the night, bathed in the reflection of the artificial light. Watch it rise. Lost in the white. The copper pot is breathing in a rhythmic kind of way, exhaling all the secrets of the long and weary day. The steam is rising upwards in a curtain of the white, hiding every detail of the ordinary night. It dances in the shadows and it dances in the glow, moving to a rhythm that only spirits really know. It's the phantom of the flavor, the ghost of the delight, disappearing slowly into the belly of the night. I watch the clouds of vapor as they spiral and they turn, a lesson in the patience that we really need to learn. It blurs the edges of the room and blurs the edges of the mind, leaving all the trouble and the static far behind. My vision is a watercolor, painting in the heat, capturing the image of the culinary retreat. The steam is like a veil between the hunger and the soul, giving me the absolute and the total control. It smells of ginger root and it smells of star anise, a fragrant invitation to the center of the peace. It's a language made of moisture and a language made of air, a magnificent and beautiful and solitary prayer. The drops of water form upon the surface of the glass, watching as the many heavy hours slowly pass. I am the quiet observer in the center of the cloud, wrapped inside the silence and the heaviest shroud. Rise and fade, the light and shade, vapor and dream, exactly what it seems. The steams whisper a soft and white decree, setting every captive and every spirit free. A conversation made of warmth and of the rising heat, making the salvation in the moment so sweet. The chef moves through the mist like a shadow in the rain, transforming all the losses into a spiritual gain. His hands are sure and steady as he stirs the liquid gold, a story of a comfort that is ancient and is old. The steam is like a dream that you can almost nearly touch, a feeling that I really love and desire very much. It softens every jagged line and heals the hidden scar, better than a sermon or a brightly shining star. I see the world reflected in the particles of wet, an image of a beauty that I haven't finished yet. The neon signs outside are just a blur of red and green, the loveliest perspective that I've ever seen. We are but vapor in the grand and the universal scheme, characters inside a beautiful and steam-colored dream. But in this moment we are warm, and in this moment we are real, finding in the moisture exactly how we need to feel. The ladle breaks the surface and the steam begins to roar, opening the portal of the culinary door. It's a symphony of droplets and a symphony of sound, a holy kind of magic that is scattered on the ground. I breathe the humid air and I let the spirit breathe, leaving all the tangled webs that we always weave. The steam's whisper is the anthem of the midnight diner's heart, a permanent and beautiful and solitary art. Captive and every spirit free, a conversation made of warmth and of the rising heat, making the salvation in the moment so sweet. Drift away, just obey. Like a prayer, but the warmth will linger in the marrow and the bone, helping us to face the world and not feel all alone. I take a final look at the pot upon the fire before the golden moments and the memories expire. The steam has done its work of mercy and of grace in this sophisticated and this solitary space. And let the steam continue rise underneath the cover of the cloudy urban skies. The whisper is a promise that the morning will be bright, defeating every particle of the heavy city night. I leave the diner with the moisture on the skin, ready for the new and for the story to begin. The steam's whisper is the only thing I really need, a spiritual and a watery and a white color creed. We're all here for the same thing, a line of silhouettes upon the leather and the chrome, each one looking for a fragment and a piece of home. We sit in a geometry of silence and of space, with a look of recognition on every tired face. A man in a tuxedo with the collar open wide. A woman with a secret that she's trying hard to hide. An artist with the charcoal on the fingers and the skin, waiting for the celebration and the story to begin. We don't need a conversation, and we don't need a name. Participated in the same and the solitary game. The clinking of the cutlery is the music of the night, underneath the halo of the yellow-colored light. I see the reflection in the mirror of the bar, watching every person like a cinematic star. We are the night shift of the human enterprise, reflected in the wonder and the weary-looking eyes. The newspaper is open to the tragedy and news, but we are only interested in the rhythm and the blues of the soup and of the noodles and the steam upon the glass, watching as the many heavy city hours pass. The guy to my left is staring at his bowl, giving back the spirit, the absolute and total control. The girl to my right is sketching on a napkin made of white, creating a masterpiece in the middle of the night. Side by side, nowhere to hide, stranger's eyes, urban ties. Countertop stories written in the steam, a collective and a beautiful and a silent dream. We share the sanctuary and we share the heavy weight in this tiny harbor and this vessel of the fate. There's a comfort in the presence of the other lonely souls, filling up the spirit and the many empty holes. The architecture of the silence is a solid kind of thing, waiting for the morning and the sunrise to begin. We are the islands in the middle of the urban sea, connected by the minor and the soul harmony. I feel a sense of kinship and I feel a sense of peace, giving the exhausted mind a release. The chef is like the master of the silent orchestra, dealing out the comfort from the kitchen and the bar. He knows the favorite dish of every regular who comes, matching the vibration of the internal drums. A bowl of hot ramen is a bridge across the gap, escaping from the gravity and from the urban trap. We eat in a unison of the movement and the breath, defying the isolation and defying the soul death. Maybe the connection is the thing we never say, the understanding built inside the center of the day, that we are all the same underneath the coat and tie, underneath the heavy and the leading urban sky. The countertop is holy and the countertop is white, with absolutely nowhere for the vanity to hide. Just the honesty of hunger and the honesty of sound, the finest kind of sanctuary that I have ever found. Side by side, nowhere to hide, stranger's eyes, urban ties. Countertop stories written in the esteem, a collective and a beautiful and a silent dream. We share the sanctuary and we share the heavy weight in this tiny harbor and this vessel of the fate. Tuxedo pays the bill and leaves a tip, starting the return of the solitary trip. I watch him walk away into the shadows and the rain, carrying the memory of the temporary gain. One by one the islands start to vanish from the road, following exactly where the spirits need to go. But the energy remains inside the center of the wood, a story of the beautiful and a story of the good. So thank you for the presence and thank you for the light, for helping me to face the duration of the night. The countertop stories are the anchors of the mind, leaving all the trouble and the static far behind. The diner is my sanctuary, diner is my home. No matter where I wander and no matter where I roam, the collective dream is permanent and it is here to stay, guiding us along the happy and the forward way, side by side, nowhere to hide. Flavor. Deep in the broth, the ceramic bowl is heavy and it's warm inside the palm, a tiny and a liquid and a culinary bomb. The miso is a landscape of the amber and the gold, a story of a tradition that is ancient and is old. I watch the tiny particles as they dance and as they swirl, a microcosm of the entire and the spinning world. The tofu cubes are islands in a sea of the umami, a sanctuary from the city and the social tsunami. The scent is of the earth and the scent is of the sea, a fragrant invitation to the spirit and to me. It speaks of fermentation and it speaks of the time, putting every flavor into rhythm and to rhyme. I take a sip and feel the heat begin to slowly spread, waking up the spirit and waking up the head, from the center of the stomach to the tips of every toe, a feeling that only the hungry people really know. It's the simplest of things, it's the most profound of arts, healing every fracture of the weary human hearts. We don't need the luxury and we don't need the grand, when the magic is provided by the humble human hand. The scallions are like emeralds upon the golden pool, playing by the ancient and the mathematical rule. I lost at the table of the spirit and the grace. In this escape, in this solitary space, drink it in, let it begin. Warm and deep, secrets to keep. Miso Soul, a remedy of the earth and of the bean, the finest kind of magic that I have ever seen. A bowl of the salvation in the middle of the night, turning every shadow into something that is bright. The steam is like a message that is written in the air, erasing every particle of the burden of despair. It tastes of the sun and it tastes of the rain, transforming all the losses into a spiritual gain. I feel the tension melting like the miso in the pot, giving up the worry and giving up the thought of the deadline and the struggle and the drama of the day. Watching as the heavy city feelings wash away. Maybe the soul is just a bowl of the soup in the dark, searching for a meaning and searching for a spark. And the warmth is the connection to the nature and the light, defeating every particle of the heavy city night. It isn't just a meal, it's a spiritual event, a monument to all the time that we have lately spent, searching for the comfort in the metal and the stone, finding it in a place where we are never all alone. The chef is standing silent, he knows exactly what I feel. The power of the simple and the power of the real. The Miso Soul is permanent, it's a fire in the bone, the strongest and the warmest feeling I have ever known. I breathe the aroma and I let the spirit breathe, leaving all the tangled webs that we always weave. The bowl is almost empty, but the warmth is here to stay, guiding us along the happy and the forward way. Drink it in, let it begin. Warm and deep, secrets to keep. Miso Soul, a remedy of the earth and of the bean, the finest kind of magic that I have ever seen. A bowl of the salvation in the middle of the night, turning every shadow into something that is bright. Golden broth, silken cloth. Drop is finished and the bowl is set aside, with absolutely nowhere for the gratitude to hide. I feel a sense of lightness and I feel a sense of grace, suspended in the center of the solitary space. The Miso Soul is a legacy of the rhythm and the heart, a permanent and beautiful and solitary art. taste the coming in the blinding light. So thank you for the flavor, and thank you for the heat, for making every red and every moment it looks. Listen. The water's ready. The kettle sits upon the blue and the dancing flame, a solitary object with a very simple name. The heat is building slowly in the center of the steel, making the transition absolutely real. The bubbles are a rhythm and the bubbles are a song, moving with the energy. It is beautiful and strong. I hear the first vibration of the tiny little throat, preparing for the high and for the solitary note. It starts as a whisper and it starts as a sigh, rising to a challenge and rising to the sky. A whistle that is piercing and a whistle that is clear, erasing every worry and erasing every fear. The sound is like a signal in the middle of the dark, searching for a meaning and searching for a spark. The steam is rushing out in a jet of silver white, defeating every particle of a heavy city night. The chef reaches out with a steady human hand, the coolest and the sharpest in the entire land. He lifts the heavy handle and the music starts to fade, following the decision that the master lately made. The water pours in a river of the crystal and the heat, making the salvation and the moment so complete. A ceremony of the ritual and of the everyday, chasing all the boring and the weary blues away. High and clear, hear it near. Rising heat, perfect beat. The sound of the kettle, a melody of life, cutting through the struggle and cutting through the strife. A riffing and a beautiful and a solitary call, witnessed by the shadows and the wooden handled wall. The silence that follows is a heavy kind of weight, a sanctuary offered by the hands of the fate. The echoes of the whistle are still ringing in the ear, confirming that the magic is eventually here. We watch the water meeting with the leaves of the tea, opening the portals of the opportunity. The steam is like a message that is written in the air, a magnificent and beautiful and solitary prayer. Everything is purposeful and everything is slow, the only kind of rhythm that I really wanna know. The kettle is the heartbeat of the midnight diner's room, a radiant light that's shining through the temporary gloom. It speaks of the preparation and it speaks of the care, hanging in the humid and the heavy city air. We are but observers of the simple and the true, in the middle of the night for me and for you. The flame is turned to nothing and the heat begins to die underneath the cover of the cloudy urban sky. But the resonance is permanent, it's a fire in the bone, helping us to face the world and not feel all alone. The sound of the kettle is a legacy of sound, the finest kind of sanctuary that I have ever found. So let the water boil and is steeping slowly in the pot of the clay, a prelude to the breaking of the coming morning day. I feel a sense of lightness and I feel a sense of grace, suspended in the center of the solitary space. A kettle is a symbol of the spirit and the mind, leaving all the trouble and the static far behind. A masterpiece of metal and a masterpiece of art, a permanent and beautiful and human handled part. So thank you for the whistle and thank you for the heat, for making every ordinary moment look so sweet. The sound of the kettle is the anthem of the night, for helping us to face the coming and the blinding light. The midnight diner is a sanctuary made of sound, where the true and silent essence of the soul is always found. I walk back to the street with the rhythm in the head, long after every single word of love has been said. High and clear, hear it near, rising heat, perfect beat, the sound of the kettle, a melody of life, cooking through the struggle. So simple, the comfort of home. A ceramic bowl of the white and the steaming grain, a tiny mountain offered to the sorrow and the pain. In the center of the peak, a crater made of gold, a story of a childhood that is ancient and is old. I break the surface with a gentle wooden move, watching as the liquid starts to find the rhythmic groove. The amber yolk is flowing like a river of the sun. The restoration of the spirit is finally begun. It coats every kernel in a velvet kind of shade, the finest decoration that the kitchen ever made. A sprinkle of the salt and a drop of the dark soy, a recipe for a primitive and a long forgotten joy. I lift the heavy spoon and I take the first bite, defeating every particle of the heavy city night. The texture is a cloud and the flavor is a hug, pulled from the silence like a cork from a jug. It's the food of the poets and the food of the kings, touching on the beauty of the very small of things. We don't need the fire and we don't need the spice, when the salvation is found in a bowl of egg and rice. The warmth is in the throat and the warmth is in the chest, as the frantic city energy is put to a rest. I am just a child again, safe inside the light, wrapped inside the blankets of the culinary night. Golden wet, pure and bright, taste of years, dry the tears. Egg on rice, a symphony of the humble and the sweet, making the salvation in the moment so complete. A golden kind of magic in the middle of the dark, searching for a meaning and searching for a spark. I see my mother's hands in the movement of the chef, in a world that is noisy and a world that is deaf to the quiet requirements of the hungry human soul, giving back the spirit, the absolute and total control. The flavor is a bridge across the decades and the sea, connecting the adult with the ghost inside of me. It's honest and it's simple and it's unrefined and pure, the only universally and ever kind of cure. Maybe the soul is just a grain of the rice in the pot, waiting for the heat and the opportunity and thought of being transformed into something rich in gold, before the story is eventually and finally told. The steam is like a memory that is written in the air, erasing every particle of the burden of despair. I feel a sense of lightness and I feel a sense of grace, suspended in the center of the solitary space. The bowl is getting empty but the feeling is full. I feel the gravity and the magnetic kind of pull, of the happiness that hides in the center of the plain, transforming all the losses into a spiritual gain. The clarinet is crying with a beauty and a grin, where the victory and where the celebration begin. Egg on rice is the anthem of the spirit and the mind, leaving all the trouble and the static far behind. Golden white, pure and bright, taste of years, dry the tears. Egg on rice, a symphony of the humble and the sweet, making the salvation in the moment so complete. A golden kind of magic in the middle of the dark, searching for a meaning and searching for a spark. Golden grain, heal the pain. Absolutely nowhere for the gratitude to hide. The midnight diner is a sanctuary made of sound, where the true and silent essence of the soul is found. I take a final look at the golden stained bowl, feeling the recovery of the absolute and total soul. The simplicity is holy and the simplicity is wide, allowing all the vanity to eventually subside. So thank you for the rice and thank you for the egg. I don't need a favor and I don't need to beg for a meaning in the universe or a meaning in the light. I found it in the center of the culinary night. I walk back to the street with the fire in the bone, feeling less like a stranger and feeling less alone. Egg on rice is the only thing I really need, a spiritual and a golden and a simple kind of creed. Golden white, pure and bright, taste of years, dry the tears. Another long day. The tie is loosened like a noose around the neck. The bank account is just a digit on the check. He sits upon the stool with the shoulder slightly bent, a monument to all the time that he has lately spent, working for the numbers and working for the man, doing the very best that he possibly can. But here in the diner the title doesn't count. It doesn't matter what the heavy social debts amount. He stares into the steam of the bowl upon the bar, feeling like a solitary and a dying star. The blue light of the office is a memory in the head, long after every single word of business has been said. He's a navigator, sailing on a sea of the gray, a victim of the frantic and the ordinary day. But the chef gives him a nod and he gives him a drink, a sanctuary for the person who is trying hard to think. The salaryman is a poet in a suit of the blue, searching for a version of the simple and the true. He eats in a silence that is heavy and is deep, watching over secrets that the tired people keep. The rhythm of the chewing is the rhythm of the life, away from the struggle and away from the strife. He finds a little dignity in the center of the meal, making the recovery and the transformation real. Loose the tide, don't ask why. Night is long, soul is strong. The lonely salaryman, a hero in the dark, searching for a meaning and searching for a spark. A sanctuary found in the middle of the night, bathed in the reflection of the artificial light. His eyes are red from the screen and the glare, a temporary refuge from the burden of despair. He watches as the bubbles rise in the glass of the beer, erasing every worry and erasing every fear. The architecture of the city is a cold and iron cage, but here he can turn to a different kind of page. He's not a number and he's not a gear in the machine, the loveliest perspective that he's ever seen. Maybe the soul is just a commuter on the train, waiting for the ending of the sorrow and the pain. And the diner is the station where the journey starts to slow, the only kind of rhythm that he really wants to know. He takes a deep breath of the humidest air, leaving the exhaustion and the shadow of the care. The miso is a medicine and the miso is a balm, restoring the equilibrium and restoring the calm. He's thinking of the family, sleeping in the home, no matter where he wanders and no matter where he roams. He's the pillar and the provider of the dreams and the grace in this sophisticated and this solitary space. The saxophone is wailing for the man in the suit, a message of the beauty that is absolute and mute. The lonely salaryman is the anthem of the street, making the salvation and the moment so sweet. Loose the tide, don't ask why. Night is long, soul is strong. The lonely salaryman, a hero in the dark, searching for a meaning and searching for a spark. A sanctuary found in the middle of the night, bathed in the reflection of the artificial light. Drink it down, tie it down. bill and leaves with a steady kind of gait, refusing to be victims of a heavy kind of fate. The night is almost over and the morning is a threat, but he carries with him something that he hasn't finished yet. A sense of the connection to the spirit and the light, defeating every particle of the heavy city night. He walks back to the shadows with a head held high, underneath the cover of the cloudy urban sky. So raise a glass to the workers of the midnight world, watching as the mystery of the city is unfurled. The lonely salaryman is a mirror of us all, witnessed by the shadows and the wooden handled wall. The midnight diner is a sanctuary made of soul, giving back the spirit, the absolute and total control. We are but survivors of the modern-ish age, writing our own history on the solitary page. Loose the tide, don't ask why. The night is long, soul is strong. The lonely salaryman, a hero in the dark, searching for a meaning. Stay warm, the deluge has arrived. The window is a barrier of the silver and the gray, washing all the fragments of the city far away. The rain is like a chorus in a language that is old, a symphony of liquid and a symphony of cold. But here inside the diner there is magic in the pot, giving all the comfort and giving all the thought of the noodles in the water and the noodles in the broth, softer than the finest and the silken kind of cloth. The bowl is like a volcano with a crater of the steam, merging with the particles of the planetary dream. I watch the clouds of vapor as they rise into the air, a temporary remedy for the burden of despair. The heat is in the porcelain and the heat is in the hand, a stranger in a strange and a very friendly land. I pull a single strand and I feel the texture slide, with absolutely nowhere for the gratitude to hide. The slurping is the rhythm of the solitary meal, making the connection absolutely unreal. A tactile experience in a world of the digital, a beautiful and sensory and a dark kind of miracle. The architecture of the noodle is a long and winding thread, connecting every sentence that the spirit ever said. I find my sanctuary in the center of the soup, joining in the movement of the culinary group. Cold rain, warm heart, world apart, slurp inside, let it fly. Midnight rain and warm noodles, a contrast of the soul, giving back the spirit, the absolute and total control. The fire and the water in a dance of the night, turning every shadow into something that is bright. The thunder in the distance is a low and heavy drum, matching the vibration of the internal hum. But the noodles are a piece and the noodles are a grace, in this sophisticated and this solitary space. They taste of the flour and they taste of the egg. I don't need a favor and I don't need to beg for a meaning in the universe or a meaning in the storm. When I'm feeling visceral and I'm feeling very warm, maybe we are the broth, woven into patterns of the universal claws, searching for the heat and searching for the light, defeating every particle of the heavy city night. The chef is standing silent in the center of the mist, the greatest kind of artist that has ever existed. His ladle is a wand and his ladle is a tool, playing by the ancient and the mathematical rule. The rain is getting louder, but I simply do not care. Wrapped inside the humid and the heavy city air, the noodles are a legacy of the rhythm and the heart, a permanent and beautiful and solitary art. They provide the energy and they provide the soul, making the fragmented and the broken spirit whole. Midnight rain and warm noodles are the only things I need, a spiritual and a sensory and a watery kind of creed. Cold rain, warm heart, world apart, slurp inside, let it fly. Midnight rain and warm noodles, a contrast to the soul, giving back the spirit, the absolute and total control. The fire and the water and a dance of the night, turning every shadow into something that is bright. Eat your fill, standing still. Getting empty and the storm begins to slow, the only kind of rhythm that I really want to know. I feel a sense of lightness and I feel a sense of grace, suspended in the center of the solitary space. The noodles were the bridge that carried me through the dark, leaving on the atmosphere a professional and cool mark. The city is refreshed and the city is clean, the loveliest perspective that I've ever seen. So thank you for the rain and thank you for the heat, for making every ordinary moment look so sweet. The midnight diner is a sanctuary made of soul, giving back the spirit, the absolute and total control. I leave the diner with the fire in the bone, feeling less like a stranger and feeling less alone. Midnight rain and warm noodles are the anthem of the night, for helping me to face the coming and the blinding light. Cold rain, warm heart, world apart, slay. Cold rain. Precision is a prayer. The blade is made of carbon and the blade is made of steel, a physical manifestation of the culinary feel. It hits the wooden surface with a rhythmic kind of thud, moving through the cabbage and moving through the blood of the radish and the onion in a dance of the knife. A symphony of labor and a symphony of life. The chef is like the master of the silent beat, making the preparation and the moment so complete. Every stroke is certain and every stroke is true, creating something honest and creating something new. The cutting board is textured with the history of the blade, a record of the progress that the master lately made. It's the rhythm of the survival and the rhythm of the heart, a permanent and beautiful beautiful and solitary art. I watch the flying fingers and I watch the silver flash, turning every ordinary moment into a golden splash. The cadence is hypnotic and the cadence is a song, where the sentences are beautiful and where the day is long. It provides a sense of order in a world of the chaotic, something very simple and something very hypnotic. We are but the witnesses to labor and the grace in this sophisticated and solitary space. The knife is like a pendulum, ticking out the time, putting every movement into rhythm and into ride. Chop and slide, nowhere to hide. Rhythm a hand, master a land. Chef's knife and cutting board, a rhythmic piece of soul, taking back the spirit and the absolute control. A dance of the steel and a dance of the wood. Everything is exactly as it should. And it is okay as it should. The onion turns to petals and the carrot turns to gold. A story of a tradition that is ancient and is old. The friction of the metal is a fire in the room, a radiant light that's shining through the temporary gloom. The chef doesn't look down, he knows exactly where to strike. A physical and a sensory, a rhythm kinda like. He builds the foundation of the culinary dream, a centerpiece of the planetary and the human scheme. Maybe the soul is just a vegetable on the board, waiting for the decision and the sharpening of the sword to be transformed into something that is beautiful and rare, hanging in the humid and a heavy city air. The rhythm is a therapy for the restless in the mind, leaving all the trouble and the static far behind. We are the observers of the precision and the light, defeating every particle of the heavy city night. Every vegetable has its own and specific sound when it meets the wood upon the holy-ish ground. A percussion of the nature and percussion of the man, doing the very best that he possibly can. The ham and beef is swirling like the steam from off the pot, giving all the energy and giving all the thought. Chef's knife and cutting board are the anthem of the night, for helping us to face the coming and the blinding light. Chop and slide, nowhere to hide. Rhythm a hand, master a land. Chef's knife and cutting board, a really piece of soul, taking back the spirit and the absolute control. A dance of the steel and a dance of the wood. Everything is exactly as it should. Ba-da, ba-da, chop. Ba-da, ba-da, chop. Work it, ba-da, da, 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 da. Work it. Fulfilling the requirement of the beautiful and good. The chef wipes the blade and he sets it in a rack, starting the return of the solitary track. I feel a sense of peace and I feel a sense of pride, with absolutely nowhere for the spirit left to hide. The order is a comfort and the order is a grace, suspended in the center of the solitary space. So thank you for the rhythm and thank you for the steel, for making the recovery and the transformation real. The midnight diner is a sanctuary made of sound, where the true and silent essence of the soul is found. I leave the diner with the cadence in the head, long after every single word of love has been said. Chef's knife and cutting board are the anchors of the mind, leaving all the trouble and the static far behind. It's almost morning. The blue turns gold. The inky black of midnight starts to slowly fade away, preparing for the arrival of the coming morning day. The first train rumbles on the tracks, a distant heavy sound vibrating in the center of the holish ground. I finish up my cup and I stand up from the stool, playing by the ancient and the mathematical rule. The chef is cleaning up the counter with a cloth of white, ending the duration of the heavy city night. The yellow light is flickering, it's getting tired too, waiting for the sun to make the world look crisp and new. A ribbon of the orange and a ribbon of the gold is painted on the horizon by the story to be told. I hear the click of the switch and the neon sign is dead, erasing every particle of the thing the spirit said. The sanctuary is closing its heavy wooden door, ready for the silence and the wooden handled floor. I step into the street and the air is fresh and clean, the loveliest perspective that I've ever seen. The city is awaking with a hum and with a roar, preparing for the struggle and preparing for the more. But I carry with me the warmth of the diner's heart, a permanent and beautiful and solitary art. The music was the bridge that carried me through the dark, leaving on the atmosphere a professional and cool mark. Last night, first train into the pain. Rise up, look high, color the sky. First train, last light, a transition of the soul, giving back the spirit, the absolute and total control. A majestic kind of goodbye to the shadows and the gray. Welcome to the breaking of the coming morning day. Truly all alone. The blue is turning and radiant, it's turning into day, chasing all the memories and mysteries away. The salaryman is walking to the station and the goal, giving back the spirit, the absolute and total soul. We are but the survivors of the long and weary night, stepping out from darkness and stepping into light. The chef is standing in the doorway with a weary-ish grin, where the new and where the celebrations start to begin. He's seen us all and he's heard it all inside the yellow wall, witnessed by the shadows and the wooden handled all. He nods to me one final time and then he turns away, entering the silence of his own impersonal day. The diner is a memory now, a golden amber glow, telling us exactly where the spirit needs to go. Maybe the life is just a series of the diner stays, in between the frantic and the ordinary days. A sanctuary of the spirit and a sanctuary of the mind, leaving all the trouble and the static far behind. The first train is the anthem of the future and the now, confirming every promise and confirming every vow. I feel a sense of lightness and I feel a sense of grace in this sophisticated and a solitary space. Last light, first train, end of the pain. Rise up, look high, color the sky. First train, last light, a transition of the soul, giving back the spirit, the absolute and total control. A majestic kind of goodbye to the shadows and the gray. Welcome to the breaking of the coming morning day. noisy in a world that is deaf.